Hello everyone, this is Dr. Jenkins. I'm going to be taking care of your lab for Anatomy and Physiology 2. Now, these are you are part of a Saturday section. However, for lab, we are not going to be meeting on Zoom at a particular time, okay? So I'm going to have the lab material available for you on Blackboard all week, which means that you can view it, review it, and you can do the lab worksheets on your own schedule throughout the week. Okay, so repeat, just to make sure we're clear, we will not be meeting on Zoom each week during your regularly scheduled lab. Okay, all right, so as you know, hopefully you're going to be doing your lecture material with Dr. Mastrangelo, and then I'm going to be taking care of your lab material. Now, not to worry, okay? Dr. Mastrangelo and I have worked together for many years. In fact, she has an office, back in the good old days when we were back on campus. Her office is right next to mine, and we commonly joke that we are each other's work wives. Okay, so not to worry, her and I have worked together. I teach this lecture, just not your section, so I'm very up to date on the material. It's going to be fine. What this means, though, is you're going to be hearing your lectures from Dr. Mastrangelo. Your lecture exams will be given by Dr. Mastrangelo. Okay, so if you have any questions about what her exams are going to be like and the like, ask her about lecture and the final exam. But if you have questions about how the lab runs, ask me. Okay? Now, at the end of the semester, I will calculate your lab grade, and then I will pass that along to Dr. Mastrangelo, and she will incorporate it as 25% of your overall grade. So what you do with Dr. Mastrangelo makes up 75% of your grade, and then what we do in lab makes up 25%. But I'm no less important, okay? So here's how it's going to work, all right? You are going to have a Blackboard page for lecture, and that's where Dr. Mastrangelo will put her material. And then you're going to have another Blackboard page for lab. So when you open up the lab Blackboard page, you'll see a syllabus with an outline that talks about what lab we're doing each week and when our lab practicals are. And then also on our lab Blackboard page, you will see the material for each lab. So how it's going to work is, each week we will be covering a lab. The lab is going to start with a blood lab on blood typing and different types of white blood cells. Then we have a lab on the heart structure, right, using models and the pig heart, which I'm going to show up in the video. Then we do the blood vessels and so forth. So each week, starting Monday morning, bright and early, you will have access to the lab material for that week. Oftentimes, it includes a video of me going over the material. So when you go to the lab Blackboard page, you click on that lab, you'll see links to my YouTube channel where you will see all sorts of review videos for the lab. I encourage you, please watch these videos. They're not super long, right? Sometimes you'll have to watch the lab video, as in the blood typing. Other times, the lab videos are meant as a review. For each of the body systems, there's a video of me in the lab going over each model. So for the heart, there'll be a video with me holding up the plastic heart, talking about where everything is. For the blood vessels, there'll be pictures of me with our plastic blood vessel models, but there'll also be pictures of me with the cat dissection blood vessels. Because as we know in A&P2 here, we have some dissection. So I'll be showing you on the video a pig heart. We'll be looking at blood vessels on the cats. We'll be looking at a pig kidney. That's pretty cool. And when we come to our lab exams, there will be pictures of the cat blood vessels and the pig heart. But you're going to have the videos that you can look to study. On Blackboard for each lab, there's also going to be a host of pictures to help you study. You'll see pictures of the models labeled, and then you'll see a separate folder with the pictures of the models unlabeled. Okay? So plenty of material for you to review. All right, so each week we have a lab topic. You're going to go onto the lab Blackboard page. You're going to see the links to videos for me reviewing the lab material for that week. Along with every lab, there is a lab worksheet. So you watch the videos and you fill out the worksheet, okay? The worksheets are going to be due every Sunday at midnight. I do not take late work. Maybe you've heard the word on the street about Dr. Jenkins. She's not as nice as Dr. Mastrangelo about late work, okay? So that means the lab worksheets are due Sunday at midnight. If I get a lab worksheet from you via email at 12:01, I'm not going to take it. So you have to plan ahead, folks. The material is going to be available to you all week, from Monday morning all the way through until Sunday night. I encourage you to do the lab work earlier in the week. That way, if you have questions, you can ask me. If you send me a question via email at 10 p.m. on a Sunday night, it's unlikely I'm going to be able to get back to you before Monday morning. I do check my email on weekends as best I can, but probably not 10 p.m. at night. So that means you need to do the work earlier in the week. If you have questions, reach out to me. All right, so each week we have a lab topic. There's going to be a lab worksheet due Sunday at midnight. And then scattered throughout, we will have some practical exams and lab quizzes. These will all be done on Blackboard. They will be timed, but you will know in advance what to expect from that lab practical or quiz. I will post an announcement each week about what we're doing that week. And if there's a lab quiz or practical, you'll see another announcement outlining exactly what to expect on that lab practical or quiz. For example, it might say, this week we have the heart practical exam. It will be 25 questions. You will have 35 minutes to complete it. It will include multiple choice and labeling on human models and pig heart models. You will also be expected to answer questions about blood flow through the heart. So you will know exactly what to expect. On those practical exams, for most of them, you will be able to go back, but you only get one attempt. And still, that attempt must be completed by Sunday at midnight. It'll be available all week, but due no later than Sunday at midnight. So what that means is, I don't recommend that you take the lab practical. You start it Sunday night at 10 p.m. Because what if there's a problem? Blackboard sometimes, we know how Blackboard is, sometimes it just kicks you off. So don't wait till the last minute. I know you all are busy, but you have to give me a chance to fix it for you and reset it before it's due at midnight. So even if you can do it earlier on the weekend, earlier in the day on Sunday, give us time. That way, if there's a problem, you can email me. It gives me time to reset the quiz so you can take it again before it's due at midnight. All right, a couple other things here. I know for lecture, I believe, Dr. Mastrangelo has you using the Mastering program. Great study tool. For lab with me, you do not have to use Mastering, so there will not be any assignments done on Mastering. Okay, just to make that clear. What else do I want to say? I'm giving you all the material and I'm here to help as much as I can, but ultimately it's really going to be up to you to study and prepare and do what you need to do. So I am here to help, but you're going to have to do your part also. Hopefully you can use the lab to help your overall grade. The lecture exams, the final exam, they tend to be tougher. So I really want you to do well in lab so you can use it as a way to boost your overall score. All right, a couple other things. Even though we're not meeting at a specific time on Zoom for lab, I will be holding Zoom office hours each week. So you'll see on your Lab Blackboard page, I'll post this week's Zoom office hours are, and there'll be a link for each one. So if you have specific questions, log on to a Zoom office hour. If those times don't work for you, send me an email. Hey, those office hour times don't work for me. I am free such and such a date and time. Could we meet then? And I will do my best to meet with you. So I'm here to help. All right, I have a little note here to make sure I don't forget anything. Got that. Last thing I want to say is I'm going to be offering a code for the phone app called Remind. So it's a free app called Remind. I'll put a code on Blackboard. You download the free app, you type in the code. It's basically an app that allows you and I to text. I know nowadays email is so, 10 years ago. But so if you prefer to use your phone, or if you're a, mom at home and you're juggling a kid and this, maybe it's not as convenient to pull up your laptop or computer. So another way you can communicate with me is through Remind. You can just send me a message. Hey, I have a question about this. Or, hey, when is that due? It's a way for us to communicate on the phone without having to know each other's phone number. So there are no excuses, ladies and gentlemen. You have many ways to communicate with me. All right, so we have a lot of fun stuff coming up. It's going to be some work, but I want you to do well. Let's start this semester off right.